Hello and welcome back, adventurers. I see you have matured and are eager to travel to other domains of dread. Let me see if I can curb that enthusiasm. I will talk about Forlorn today, the land that does its name justice, providing to be lonely and miserable, deserted and abandoned by all with a sliver of common sense. Since the mists rolled back to reveal Forlorn, those who dwelt near these wilds have come to know its region as the home of marauding wolves, grotesque goblin, accursed castles, innumerable ghosts, and worse things. Forlorn lies in the southern core, at the very southwestern edge of Balanok Mountains. The climate here is overcast and damp year-round, characterized by constant drizzle and a low rumble of thunder. Drenching downpours seem to occur weekly. The southwestern hills of Forlorn, called Shroud Hills, are eternally shrouded in dense fog. Only in the height of summer does the sun burn through the persistent cloud cover, and only for a short time. Mount Aron, the highest point in Forlorn, remains covered in dark clouds and its own fumes. It's volcanic, littered with caves the goblins used to bury their dead, as well as hot springs and geysers. Aron's slopes are the barest in the region, filled with outcroppings of granite and purple with thistles rooted in the rocky soil. These heaps are called the Beds of Dead Men, once the site of centuries of warfare against invading lowland clans. The weathered bones of warriors lie thick in the soil or heaped in the mossy piles behind the boulders. Less treacherous than the rest of the Balanoks, the peaks of Forlorn are not without dangers. Rockfalls are frequent, often intentionally triggered by goblins, who also litter the area with their crude traps. Volcanic activity in the area produces superheated steam and water from steam vents. Hot springs can boil flesh from bone in mere seconds. Coal and metal mines are subject to cave-ins, as well as pockets of toxic gas. And of course, angry ghosts of long-lost miners and foolish treasure-seekers haunt the mines. Despite the goblins' best efforts, Forlorn's forest clogged the land heavily. Many lumberjacks from different domains made attempts to harvest lumber here, all driven away by the goblin raiders. The blight that plagues the Tepperich forest is believed to originate here and spread to neighboring forests in other domains. Trees within Forlorn are twisted and stained with diseases, if not outright dead. The undergrowth is equally unpleasant, filled with weeds and poisonous plants, moss or mushrooms. In addition to more mundane flora, Forlorn is a home to a number of unusual predatory plants. Of particular note are the Death's Head trees, twisted willows that bear decayed human heads as fruit. According to Farfarians, these hideous plants can grow only in earth soiled by bloodshed. Unfortunately, most of Forlorn has seen violence in various clan wars over the centuries, meaning death head trees can sprout everywhere. Occasionally, one comes across a grove miraculously free of blight. In these rare places, trees grow straight and true, lush grass carpets the forest, and healing herbs can be found. Forlorn's druids hold these small groves as sacred. In the last 30 years, Forlorn's goblins have launched a campaign to further ruin the forests. Wielding axe and torch, these miserable creatures have systematically despoiled the landscape. Goblins have created a pocket of ruined forests surrounding Castle Tristanoira and following the Gundarak Road west along the cliffs overlooking the Lake of Red Tears. These creatures are fanatical in their attempts to expand the cleared areas, but an unusual kind of stalemate has fallen over their projects. The reclusive druids of Forlorn work against them, of course, but several witnesses claim to have seen trees moving into newly cleared areas, sending goblins fleeing in terror before them. Some say that on the night of the new moon, the walking trees stride to their conclave in the depths of Forlorn forests. One can hear the trees whispering their hate for humans and warning the interlopers to leave. Lake of Red Tears lies beneath 1,000-foot-high cliffs of red granite at the southern end of Forlorn, overlooked in the east by Castle Tristanoira. Folk belief states that the lake is bottomless, the waters bubbling up from the prisons of the lost good folk. The water is murky, clouded with particles of red clay from the lake's banks. The lake normally lies in the deep shadow, but when the sun pierces Forlorn's blanket of clouds, the water reflects the red cliffs above, turning the lake a deep crimson. The lake's depths are believed to be home of a legendary beast, a so-called river horse, who druids lovingly named Agatha. The primary fauna found in Forlorn are wolves, which roam the highland forest and fields in packs every bit as large and ravenous as those found in Barovia. Many Farfarians, even the druids, talk about wolves that have willingly aided the goblins, as well as tales of shambling undead wolves that stalk those who ventured too near Castle Tristanora. The most common form of fauna in Forlorn are strange little creatures called Gramishka. These vermin resemble cats or dogs, crossed with monkeys and rats with hints of reptilian features. The wretched little beasts lurk in nearly every shadow area in Forlorn, especially near the ruins of the town Burnham. Fortunately, these creatures are quite cowardly. Bright lights can keep them at bay, while display of arcane powers will send them screeching in terror. According to the druids, Gramishka first appeared when the barony of Forfar came into the land of the mists. During this cataclysmic event, every domestic animal in Forlorn was transformed into a squealing, vicious Gramishka. Farfarian's superstition claims that creatures other than Gramishka and goblins lurk in the wilds. Folk believe the fog-draped region near Castle Forfarmax is haunted by veiling ghosts known as Banshee. Druids of Forlorn watched the dolmens in the deep woods carefully, claiming that wights dwell beneath the stone tables. The most feared and revered of the creatures are the Good Folk, a lost race with the striking similarities to the tales of Shadow Fae, whom the druids claim to have returning to the land. So this concludes our introductory part of Forlorn. I hope that you enjoyed this, and please leave a like and a comment if you did. And remember, next time, bring some light, because Gramishkas do like to bite.